spring, and this is when I recharge my gardening batteries. I can't wait to see what's new in plants, what's new in the world of design, and what other gardeners are doing in their gardens. So my calendar is filled with trips to garden shows and garden tours up and down the state. I go to garden shows looking for new plants, cool gardening gadgets, and design ideas. I go to garden tours to see how others use plants and hardscape to create outdoor living spaces. Together, garden tours and garden shows make my mental gears turn. Just like there's no single type of gardener, there's no single type of garden. That's what makes garden tours and garden shows so interesting and absolutely inspiring, as we'll see today on A Growing Passion. It's early morning. The desert air is cool. The light is golden, and the day is awakening to a garden tour. I've come to Borrego Springs, a small community in the Anza Borrego Desert of Southern California. Here, the air is dry, soils are lean, sunlight is intense, and rainfall is scarce. Yet, desert gardens can be lovely, with an aesthetic all their own. My first stop is to talk with Betsy Knack. Betsy is Executive Director of the Anza Borrego Desert Natural History Association. That's the group that sponsors this desert garden tour every spring. Betsy showed me around a garden that's a model for how it's possible to create a comfortable, beautiful, and inviting outdoor space, even under the harshest conditions. I don't even know where to look first.
We are a hot, low desert climate, so we need plants that can work with the summer temperatures that we have. We also have freezing in the winter that we need to account for. So we think about where a plant might be best placed. If it needs shade in the summer, we would think about our water use in the desert.
So I'm seeing little places here where there's water, right? And we hear water behind us because there's that nice pond.
Isn't that nice?
Now that's for habitat, that's for cooling, it's for all those things, right?
That's right. The sound of the water would attract birds into your garden. And one of the other things we think about here is our natural habitat with all the animals and birds that we have here and also need to survive in this climate.
The other thing I notice about desert gardens is they're always walled. Why are they always walled?
Well, another feature of living in the desert is the wind, and that helps to protect our plants from that. It also makes a nicer outdoor environment in the desert, and also does help to keep the rabbits out.
It makes me feel nice and cozy, like it's welcoming. Out there is the desert, in here it's safe and it's very inviting.
That's right, it does. And this is a very traditional way of living in the desert. We have a climate where people spend a lot of time outside, and this makes for a nice, cozy way to live.
In these spare gardens, hardscape and decor set the stage. Every plant is a major player, and even bare dirt makes a beautiful background. God, look at the bougainvillea. It's just so pretty.
Isn't that great color?
You know, the color of everything just pops. I see we have a little shady corner here.
Oh, right.
And what is that, Betsy?
That's ocotillo branches that she's cut to create this shade structure. Native plant here.
Very clever, very clever. This is beautiful.
Oh.
Look at all the spaces. There's the kitchen, all the outdoor dining, even a little tiny swimming pool. It's really shady under here. I bet that's really important, especially in the heat of summer, right?
Right. Shade is so important here in the desert, and we're facing north, which is the coolest orientation.
This is so much fun because you get to see stuff that you normally would never have the chance to see.
Right. Here we are in someone's private paradise. Agaves, ocotillos, and cactus have such a wonderful form, interesting form, and in general, plants in the desert don't grow so closely together as you might see in another environment. And in this particular garden, the plants, they are showcased where you can see their shadows and see each of the beautiful forms. We're blessed with soil that's easy to dig through, so you don't need a jackhammer. You can generally use a shovel because it's sand, but consequently, there's not a lot of organic material in our soil. If we're going to put in non-natives, we do need to think about supplementing our soil.
But if you use natives, then you just plant them directly in the
You
soil,
can
right?
yes, you can put them directly in the soil.
So that's like any other part of the county or anywhere.
Right, they have a real advantage of being adapted to their original environment.
The lessons from desert gardens translate to every hot and arid climate. Low water, climate-appropriate plants, and a dose of imagination make for beautiful gardens. In the desert, the heat completely changes the vegetable gardening cycle. Home gardener Marcia Boring tells visitors how she's learned to grow summer vegetables in winter and spring. Good job, that works perfectly.
It's pretty much opposite of any other kind of gardening. I start my garden generally in October and end it in late May, early June.
So you're growing tomatoes through the winter and into the spring?
I am, and I start my tomatoes over in the cold frame because we do get some frost here. We get probably 5 or 6 nights of frost a year.
And why do you have these cages?
The cages are to keep the animals out, and also I use them to put shade cloth on in the summer.
It's so fascinating to see how gardeners adapt to extreme conditions. With some out-of-the-box thinking, Marcia is conquering big challenges to growing edibles in her home garden.
Over in this bed we have asparagus.
I see some nice little stalks right there. Want to just pop them off?
I know, they're delicious.
While Marcia greets more visitors, I'm off to another part of town. At the Desert Sands RV Park, small gardens surround these vintage trailer homes. This is a friendly place with close-by neighbors. So some outdoor spaces are designed to be private, while others are for sharing. Lisa Pridmore designed her space to have both. Lisa, I never thought I would say this to anybody, but I love your trailer. This is a great space.
I wanted to extend the living area from my interior, which is quite small, out here. Then I surrounded it with the bamboo fencing, including the shorter fence we have here in front of the oleanders. I thought that would be a good way to keep the oleanders under control.
The deck features pots of different sizes and different shapes, but in just 2 colors. The simple color palette helps keep Pridmore's space from feeling cluttered. On the opposite side of the trailer, she created a very shady space as a private retreat. Wow, it's amazing how much you've done with almost no room. Wow, Lisa, this is like the Zen.
Thank you. I actually spend quite a bit of time out here. It's a great place to read and relax and just do a little bit of meditation.
What made you think of designing this space like this?
Well, Nan, I like living in small spaces. I actually live on a sailboat part of the year. And a small space, it's very important that it is designed for each individual so it meets your needs, so you feel serene and secure when you're in that space, not only inside the trailer but out in your garden too.
What's my takeaway from these desert gardens? If you can create beautiful gardens in the desert, you can create them anywhere. And the lessons of desert growing, low water, careful plant choices, creating habitat and using color, they work in gardens no matter where you live. Coastal gardens are totally different from the spare garden spaces of the desert, yet the same principles apply. Make it water-wise, design beautiful plant combinations with interesting textures and colors, and create comfortable spaces for outdoor living. Encinitas has a long history of horticulture. The nearby ocean buffers the temperature, so it's rarely too hot or too cold. And given enough water, we can grow just about anything. We're also a community of really creative, hands-on people. Now you combine those two together and you get some really special gardens. That's what makes the Encinitas Garden Festival and Tour so inspiring. This tour holds a special place in my heart. A group of friends and I started it in 2003. Our goal was to celebrate our community, gardening, and our town's wonderful horticultural heritage. We get people out of their cars to walk a neighborhood, explore the gardens, and meet the gardeners. Lori Gentili is an interior designer. Her Asian-themed garden reflects her sense of space, color, and design. A prior owner surrounded the property with a beautiful stone wall that Lori used to set the tone for the garden. Well, that looks like a nice warm spot.
Isn't it great? I spend a lot of time out here. In the mornings, I have coffee out here and cocktails in the evening.
Why not? Lori, when you started thinking about this space, what was your design intent?
To create an outdoor living space that I could really enjoy.
I can see that you really accomplished that beautifully. You've got the fireplace, the seating area, you've got the water feature, the outdoor dining room. I bet you spent a lot of time here.
I spend so much time out here. More time out here than I do in my living room.
I believe it. One thing that really strikes me is the combination of textures. The tile, the stucco, the wood, the slate. And I love the way you've done all these vertical plants. What were you thinking? You know, obviously that was intentional.
It's about mixing textures. As a designer, you want to mix textures and colors, and I tend to go more toward the really dark plants with the lime green.
But then I see pops of color, like the reed orchid is in your face, that orangey gold and the chartreuse pillows. It just all works really well.
Thank you.
It's unusual to see a combination fountain and koi pond. It gives this one water feature multiple functions. I've never pet a fish before. A short stroll down the street leads to Betsy Cotton's garden.
So then this gives us some privacy. I would have built it 5 feet high if I could have.
It's hard to believe that this home was once brick-faced with a square of grass lawn in the front yard. Betsy hired a designer who replaced her thirsty lawn with a color-filled, low-water garden and lots of outdoor living space.
Well, I did want to have an enclosed area that had a little privacy from the street. And actually, it's kind of an additional room to the house in a way with this courtyard. It's also an extension to the house for when people come by because you can choose to be indoors or outdoors. And here in Encinitas, that's a good thing.
This wall was built atop mounded soil, so it would be tall enough to give Betsy the privacy she wanted from the street on the other side. The designer preserved a beloved native oak. She chose the plants under the oak very carefully. When you have an old oak like this, it's really important to keep water away from the tree. If you irrigate under the oak, it'll slowly die. So the best plants to grow under an oak tree are ones that don't need any water once they're established. The coral bells, the bear's breech, the aeonium, perfect choices. They enhance the design of the garden, but they don't threaten the life of the tree. It's like going through a tunnel. The backyard is cleverly divided into different levels, each with its own function. All are shaded by enormous old eucalyptus trees, underplanted with shrubs that are subtle, textural, and water-wise. It's very calm. I like that. Hi, Susie. Nice to see you. Indoor-outdoor living is a hallmark of Southern California's lifestyle, and this homeowner lives in every inch of her property. It looks beautiful. Susie Sherwin and her husband Louie tapped into their creative urges with this art-filled garden retreat. Poured concrete walls, bright-colored low-water plants, artwork placed strategically throughout. It's a very personal garden.
I wanted just to be unique and colorful. The house blocks the offshore breeze, and so we're out in this area just about every day of the year.
The vibrant textures and colors come in part from the plants and hardscape, and in part from Susie's mosaics and from other artwork done by her friends. It's a great example of how to integrate art into the garden.
I used to be a color consultant and had 3,000 shades of fabrics and did people's wardrobes, and doing plants in a yard is just like selecting a wardrobe around a color palette. the same.
I like that analogy. That makes perfect sense.
I love sharing our garden space because I've so appreciated touring other people's gardens through the years. And it's inspiring to us, our yard, and so to share that is just an honor and a privilege to be able to share it with other people.
Not all garden tours have a marketplace. When we started this one, we envisioned the marketplace as the heart of the event. There are speakers and artists and vendors. This is where visitors find new plants, new tools, and great gardening resources. Coastal gardening offers so many possibilities. I always come away from a garden having seen something new, a new color combination, plants I hadn't thought to put together, artwork, hardscape. It all swirls around in my brain and it gives me ideas for new things I can't wait to try. As much fun as it is to see what's happening locally, I want to know what's happening in the wider world of gardening. So I've come to the San Francisco Flower Show. This show is huge and there's so much to see. The color and the excitement hit me even before I reached the show floor. I'm as excited about this flower show as a kid is about visiting Disneyland. Everything that's cool about gardening in California is here. I can't wait to see what wonderful treasures I'll find, what cool display gardens I'll see, and what amazing inspirations I'll come away with.
If you're as crazy about gardens as I am, this is the place to be.
This show includes a huge marketplace where crowds shop for plants, seeds, tools, and more. At Farmer John Mueller's booth, I'm buying Italian heirloom seeds, direct from Europe.
Italian artichoke seeds, these are good.
Every year, I look forward to seeing my friend Robin Perrer. She grows rare and unusual geraniums in Marin County, north of San Francisco.
Pelargonium splendid, and it is splendid.
It is. It's absolutely splendid. Where else would you find an entire nursery dedicated only to geraniums?
Robin is one of many small specialty growers who bring their plants to the show. This year, I'm also on the lookout for new salvias.
We have the Amistad salvia this year, which is new. We have it in the big pot here on display. It's a beautiful color.
It is. I can't wait to try this in the garden.
The Japanese maples are lovely, but they don't grow very well in my part of the state. I look to see what new plants and what new ideas are coming out of Succulent Gardens Nursery near Castroville. Everyone wants to show off their newest introductions.
The big guys are here too. I want this.
But there's much more than plants. There's beautiful pottery, there's garden gear, clothing, garden art, and the latest in water-saving gadgets. My colleagues and I come to speak and to connect with gardeners from far and wide. At this show, I gave 2 talks and taught a seed starting workshop. This is the time to talk to the experts and get your gardening questions answered. I like to save the best for last. The garden displays. They can be practical, they can be entertaining, educational, and they're always exciting.
Welcome to Volcania.
It's a celebration of horticulture, if there was one. And we have 16 show gardens. You know, the whole of California is the center of horticulture fundamentally in the United States. Here in the Bay Area, we have such a fabulous nursery industry and such a wonderful climate. And it's that diversity that I think is really extraordinary. And because California in general is one of the 5 Mediterranean regions of the world, we can take from those other regions, and there are thousands of plants to grow. The droughts that we're experiencing currently, it's not the end of the world, and it's not the end of gardening. In fact, it requires us to be more intelligent about gardening, but there are so many plants to choose from that are perfectly adapted to this great climate of ours.
Some gardens demonstrate what you can do at home. Others are purely artistic, total fantasy, or downright hilarious. I take an idea or two away from each one. I look for interesting plant combinations, or color combinations, or novel uses of materials for fencing and walkways. The fantasy gardens open up my very practical mind to my more creative side. This display is one of my favorites.
I love the way this pathway just pulls me up literally into the garden space. I get to the center and there's this medallion of old wine bottles. They're different colors and they're mixed with colorful glass. So they just shine. And overhead, there's this orb of ancient grapevines all pulled together. It feels peaceful, it feels magical, it even feels enchanted. Come through the other side, I'm back in the landscape. Monterey cypress, we have big redwoods, and then we have the meadow, the coral bells, the ferns, and the penstemon. It's just a beautiful landscape.
Some of these gardens are so inviting that I'm tempted to walk right in and make myself at home.
Just taking a little break.
The centerpiece of the show is the Volcania Garden. Designer Nathan Beck created an entire world around a very unusual design element.
The theme of the Nautilus is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, so this is Captain Nemo's submarine from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Volcania is the home port of the Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So what I've done here is I've created Captain Nemo's retreat. Really, this is a creative paradise. This is a place where your imagination runs free and wild, and you look in just the possibilities of what a garden can be. And so one of the big things was drought tolerant, but tropical and lush looking. So I think we accomplished it here.
What's the key to creating tropical, lush looking drought tolerant?
Well, there are a lot of great succulents. There's a lot of great aloes, palm trees, which are very, very drought tolerant. Even bamboo, even though a lot of times we think it's lush, it'll take a lot of drought.
Every detail harkens back to the theme and creates an otherworld experience for visitors. Even the designer is an actor in this display.
Proper eyewear is essential.
This designer has two very different sides. Just a few steps away is Nathan's No City Water Garden, which features water storage columns for irrigating the garden, including lots of edibles.
This garden is all about collecting water. It's our roofs. We have gray water. All that water is just wasted, just flows out into the streets. The idea with this garden is to hold that water, use that water, water the plants with that water. This is a window into our cistern system. This is something you can easily do at home underneath a new patio that's going in. We could design an amazing cistern system which can capture thousands of gallons of water. We're holding about 4,500 gallons of water underneath here. We're holding about 2,500 gallons of water between the 8 tanks, which are our columns.
And then how long could you water this landscape? These are pretty low water plants with all of that water.
Well, one of the things that I think is wonderful about this garden, it's a mathematical equation. You've taken calculations on the plants, and then what we've done is we've calculated the amount of water that comes off the house. We've calculated all that. So this needs no city water at all. All summer long, it'll get watered.
Well, that's a great idea. I hope everybody comes and sees this because that's really what we need to be doing.
These display gardens are a big attraction. Everyone comes to explore. Professionals come to show off their artistry or to attract new clients. Students come to learn and to be part of a bigger process.
Put a lot of hard work into it, and it means so much to be here, and the experience of actually building our ideas right in front of ourselves is really awesome. We don't do this before we come to the show. It all happens right here. It's a really great experience because people should be here to see all these fantastic creations.
Everyone from novice to expert takes something valuable away from this show. For me, it's time to bid farewell to this big extravaganza and get back to my own garden to put all this inspiration to work. We've seen some pretty amazing gardens and met a bunch of creative and talented gardeners, some professional and some homespun. It takes a team of dedicated people and months of hard work to put these events on, so I always make sure to thank the organizers. Garden shows and garden tours are such a great way to find out what's new in the world of gardening. I've got my ideas. How about you? I'm Nan Sterman. Thanks for watching.